That was some really bad jokes. Anyway, how's it going guys? Welcome back to Sam's Home Kitchen. My name's Sam Lin. I am just an ordinary home cook who's really passionate about sustainability and finding ways to save money by making things at home. And hopefully by following along my YouTube journey, I can help you guys do the same in your own kitchen as well. So this week's recipe, you might have guessed it, it's got something to do with peanuts. I'm making some peanut butter. So it's a bit of a backstory. I've said it on the channel before that everything I make on this channel is just stuff that I genuinely eat, and the purpose of this is just so and really just be showing you guys how easy it can be to be making things instead of always purchasing. As a sourdough baker, I make about a loaf at home a week, and then apart from using it for sandwiches, one of my guilty pleasure is to slice a piece of toast, spread some peanut butter on it, and it's just so good. Just like everyone else, I've been buying peanut butter from the supermarket. It's not expensive, but at the same time, every time I buy a jar, I'll be producing a plastic jar, which I can repurpose it to a point I'll have no use for it. So this one I repurpose it to store some smoked paprika. It's a perfect size, but I'll get to a point where I have no use for these plastic containers, and by recycling it, you kind of be crossing all of the fingers that the people on the other end will actually recycle the waste that you throw. I mean, the best way to avoid this from happening is make your own shit, right? So I looked up some recipe and just trying to figure out how to make peanut butter at home, and it's surprisingly easy. It contains 3 main ingredients: peanut, sugar and salt, and that's it. The whole recipe is super straightforward, and I really do encourage you guys to try to do this at home. The result is phenomenal. The flavor is just incomparable to the store-bought peanut butter, and more importantly, what's even better is that the store-bought peanut butter, I'm just reading off the ingredients here, it's got added vegetable oil, it's got added antioxidant, and then like other additives like to stabilize the peanut butter as well, which you don't get from any of the homemade peanut butter. It's so much better for you. The flavor is so much more pronounced, and it's just all around better. Depending on the peanut butter brand that you buy, for most cases you do save a little bit of money by making it at home as well. That's all from me, and let's get cooking.
To make peanut butter, our ingredient list is super straightforward. We'll obviously need some peanut. I went for the cheapest peanut, which still had the skin on, some sugar, and salt to balance out the flavour, and that's it. It really is that simple. We'll put these aside and get started. As always, we'll be working with the scale and working in grammage. On this channel, the recipes will only come in grams, and I'll make it as easy to scale up and down as possible by giving you whole numbers. We'll aim for the same portion as store-bought jarred peanut butter, which is about 300 grams. Cut open our bag of peanuts and we'll wet out 300 grams of it. It's equivalent of 1 7/8 cup of peanut. How ridiculous does that sound, and who am I kidding here? To get the peanut skin off, the easiest way is to toast the peanut. If you're just toasting a small amount, doing it on the stove will save you more time and energy than roasting in an oven. This also adds a good roasty flavour to our peanut butter. If you're not a big fan of the dark roast peanut butter, feel free to skip this step and just buy some already de-skinned peanuts. Have the heat on medium and toast your peanut for about 5 minutes. You'll start to see the peanuts taking some nice colour. Make sure you're attending and stirring the peanuts, as they can get burnt quite easily. When your peanuts look something like this, it's good to go. Next, to get the peanut skin off, we'll be using a kitchen towel to help us do that. Spread a clean kitchen towel out and tip our roasted peanuts in. Grab the 4 corners of the towel, and we're going to rub the nuts quite aggressively. Keep rubbing the nut sack with your hand, and you can play with your fingers a bit as well. It feels good. The process is a bit time consuming, and I open the sack a few times to pick out the de-skinned ones so I can focus on the rest. If you have any suggestions on how to de-skin peanuts more efficiently, please leave a comment down below. I'd like to learn from you. I ended up using the metal mesh sieve and just rubbed the nuts against the wall. It worked well for a smaller batch, but also left a bit of a mess to clean up. Peanut skin kind of just goes everywhere, so don't do it with the fan on, you'll regret it. Cleaning is also part of the cooking process. Once our work surface is tidied up, we're going to blend up our peanut. Here, I'm using a food processor. I've seen recipe using a blender as well, so pick and choose what works best for you. Get our peanuts in and turn the power on. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to blend into a paste. At first, the peanut will break into smaller chunks. In a minute or two, you should see the peanut starting to clump up and release some oil. About halfway through, 5 grams of salt and 10 grams of sugar in. Feel free to adjust the amount based on your liking. Put the lid back on and we'll keep blending the peanuts. I found my food processor tend to get a layer of food stuck on the bottom. Not sure if this is every single food processor or just mine, but the easiest way is to grab a spatula and scrape it up. Put the lid back on and blend until smooth. The longer you blend it, the smoother you'll get, so do what you want and follow your heart. Once it gets to the desired consistency, grab a clean jar and we'll bottle our peanut butter up. Put the food processor aside, grab the blade out and scrape it clean with our tiny spatula. Tiny spatula is one of my favorite tools in the kitchen. They can get to areas normal tools can't get to and really reduce wastage. Highly recommended. Yeah, get in there and clean the hole. Pour the peanut butter in the jar, and there's our tiny spatula. Scrape clean our food processor, and there's our tiny spatula. Tidy up our jar, and there's our tiny spatula. It's just a legend of utensil. To try out our peanut butter, I had a freshly baked sourdough from the day before, so I cut up a generous slice of bread, because why not? Scoop up some peanut butter, and there's our tiny spatula. Love the graininess texture of it. Spread it on a piece of toast, and that's a meal on its own. The cost breakdown is as below. 300 grams of peanuts at $5.50 a kilo equals to $1.65. Pinch of salt and sugar is about 5 cents. Altogether, 300 grams of peanut butter costs us about $1.70 to make. Works out to be about the same price when compared to the cheapest peanut butter, but 2 to 3 times cheaper than the standard ones to gourmet peanut butter.
Alright, and there we have it. That's our peanut butter. So if you're a big fan of roasted peanut butter, I really do encourage you to try this at home. This is so much cheaper compared to the ones that you can get from supermarket. If you're just comparing this to the cheapest peanut butter that you can find off the shelf, this might not be much cheaper. And you might be wondering, oh Sam, why are you making this peanut butter if it's not saving you any money? So the reasons that the big brands are able to sell jars of peanut butter at such a low cost is because of economy of scale. So they're able to get tons and tons of peanut in at a fraction of the cost compared to what we can find from shop fronts. So the kilo of peanut that I bought from my local grocery is $5.50 a kilo. I can guarantee for the manufacturer, they're able to get a cost price for peanut would have been $1, $2 per kilo, just because they buy in bulk and they're able to negotiate the cost price to what makes sense to them. So when they make such a big batch of peanut butter, they can still package it and then sell it to you at $4 or $5 a kilo while still maintaining a healthy margin. But hey, by making peanut butter at home, you're reducing the waste that gets produced throughout the whole manufacturing, and then you end up having a healthier product with less additive in your peanut butter. You know exactly what goes in, and it's bloody tastier. So I really do encourage you guys to make this at home, and I'm just going to dig in. The roastiness of the peanut adds a really nice layer of flavor on top of the delicious peanut butter flavor, and it just works so well with our bread. And what's even better is that you can use peanut butter in any other cookings as well. Peanut butter slices, chuck it in some savory dishes to sub in some of the really nice nuttiness flavor, and it's just a really versatile ingredients to have in your cupboard, and I'm super happy with this. If you're still watching at this point, thank you very much. I really appreciate your support. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I put out a new recipe video on a weekly basis. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.